Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Celeste Perez, and I'm a voice actor. I'm the voice of Rin Shima in Laid Back Camp, as well as I play Sakura Kono in Horimiya. I'm currently playing Sakura Kono and Anne Halford in Sugar Apple Fairy Tale, as well as a few others. I'm also Sei Takanashi in The Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent, and many other shows that I always forget about whenever I'm trying to list them off, especially in front of, like 20 people. So we're going to talk about Laid Back Camp and food, and you can ask questions about either Laid Back Camp or food or just anything in general, as well as voice acting if you're interested in that. I've been a voice actor since 2021, so not that long, but I've been an actor my entire life, since I was about 4 years old. So I've got over 20 years of experience as an actor, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I thought we could also just play a game of smash or pass when it comes to food and anime.
Okay.
Just to, warm up the room a little bit. You had a question about the Laid Back Camp. Did you have another question about Laid Back Camp? Okay, cool. Nerves. This is my first convention, so I'm really excited to be here. I'm also nervous because I'm a human person who, is in voice acting, so obviously I'm a little bit anxious to be around a lot of people, Why else would we get into this? So I was thinking we could play a little Smash or Pass. Everybody's seen Laid Back Camp. Has anybody seen Food Wars too? Okay, cool. Food Wars is basically what got me into anime. I don't know if it was the first anime that I watched, but it was probably the first one that I was invested in. Yeah, probably that. I mean, it was probably Cowboy Bebop actually, but So we've got a few things. Has anybody seen Sugar Apple Fairy Tale here?
We saw a little bit of it.
You did? Okay, cool. It's also a great show when it comes to comfort and food. There's I play a sugar artisan, so she just makes a bunch of beautiful sugar sculptures. There's a beautiful life-sized fairy man that is clearly meant to be with my character, and it's all about will they, won't they, and we're still there. It's they've touched hands, I think, super innocent, super sweet, also a little spooky at times. It's amazing. Okay, so let's talk about, unless anybody has any questions about Laid Back Camp or anything else that's there. Cool. I'll just take it from here. If you have any questions, raise your hand. I don't care. This is informal. There are a few of us here. So some of my favorite foods from Laid Back Camp, obviously, hot pot. I always tell people, when I was recording this show, I've never eaten so much hot pot and ramen in my life. I would just, leave Crunchyroll, and I would just immediately go to my local ramen shop and just, load up, When it comes to the show, one of my favorite episodes with food, let's talk about, the grilled skewers at Lake Shibire. So delicious. That tomato sukiyaki, delicious. I took notes because there are just so many delicious things. But I think that what really, made it for me was, when Reen is on a mountaintop and she makes pork buns, but she, presses them so they're a sandwich. It's delicious. The crispy sound, and she's just, narrating it she's on an episode of Chef's Table. But also, let's talk about, this will feed into Smash or Pass. Let's talk about, the one thing I would say that I wouldn't eat on Laid Back Camp. I think that the only thing they really got wrong was, I don't know if y'all remember the s'mores.
Oh.
It was those aren't s'mores. What? These are not, that's not a s'more. That needs a graham cracker. I think that's the only thing I'd have to pass on. So we're gonna do a little smash and pass. Let's see. Let's start out with ponyo, I mean, that's an automatic smash, you know, like ponyo, the delicious ramen. I don't know what they do to make it look so good, but it's so like succulent and colorful and just like, it's like if I had that waiting for me at home, like I would not be chasing, you know, like a fish girl, you know. I mean, the ham, come on, you know, like just eating ham for the first time, that's like that's an experience for ponyo. The rice balls in Spirited Away, I mean, like, I want more, smash. How do y'all feel about, did everybody watch Pokemon? Okay, cool. I figured, you know, we're at AnimeFest, like, we know about Pokemon. We're citizens of the world, we know about Pokemon. Magikarp sashimi? How do we feel? It's a no?
It's go.
I mean, it takes place in a nightmare, you know, it's like, would you?
Yeah.
You know what? Live your truth, you know? Yeah.
I don't know, carp doesn't usually taste very good.
I would try it. I'm a monster. I would probably go for it, you know?
I mean, if it was a Magikarp, that was never going to become a Gyarados.
Yeah, totally.
Let me give you a purpose in life, please.
Yeah. We're debating, you know, ethical consumption, and that's an important thing to do. The feast, the meat that Chihiro's parents eat in Spirited Away, would you do it if you knew that you were going to turn into a pig? Would you do it?
Maybe as a last meal.
Yeah, for sure. Because I gotta say, it looked good. You know,
yeah.
like I would definitely be, you know, I would definitely be a pig for a little bit, just to try it. It looked pretty good. Bear steak in Food Wars. How do we feel about that?
Bear is actually very delicious.
Is it? Interesting. Okay, yeah. I mean, like, it's like gamey as all being, but
As most hunting meats are.
yeah,
they're
totally.
quite gamey.
Yeah, with the way that it's prepared, I would totally go for it. Calcifer's breakfast, automatic smash for everybody. Like, how do they get that egg and that bacon to be just like so tempting and delicious?
Are we talking Sophie's breakfast or Calcifer's breakfast and eggshells?
That's a good. Yeah, we should clarify that. Yeah, Sophie's breakfast. Yes, need that forever. Has everybody seen Oyakodon in Food Wars being prepared? I mean, like, that was a game changer for me. I think that, like, whenever I really started watching anime, my egg game changed because, like, Japan has it figured out. Japan and France are the only ones that should be teaching us how to cook our eggs, you know? Like, they have got it. The yakisoba on the beach episode, obviously every anime has a beach episode. And the beach episode Food Wars, that yakisoba looked so good. And katsudon, come on, yeah. So those are a few of the things that I thought sounded delicious, and some of the things I wasn't too sure about. Yeah, that soot Sprite candy. I would crunch on that.
It's very crunchy.
Yes. Peanut butter calamari. Would you try it?
Yes.
You would really?
Yes.
You would try the peanut butter calamari?
Yes, I have.
You have?
I have.
What was that like?
It's a delicious experience of two different textures.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Textures. Yeah,
There's lots of texture.
Ooh, yeah, so if you're a texture person, you're not wanting to do was it crunchy or creamy peanut butter?
Creamy.
What was that like?
It was creamy peanut butter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's I'm pretty, like, not picky. I think that's a pass for me.
But think about, like, the peanut satay sauce.
Oh no, yeah, like, definitely.
Yeah,
If it was like, if we were
Yeah.
talking like a delicious
Peanut
savory
sauce.
peanut sauce,
Yeah.
and if the calamari was like fried, I would try that. You know, if it was like panko calamari, totally.
Yeah.
But I don't know, boiled calamari. I think it's boiled in the show. I'm not into that. But bento and Totoro. Delicious. It's amazing. Anyways, does anyone have any questions about laid back camp or anything? I can just keep talking about food all day.
Awkward food question. What are your thoughts on Marmite/Vegemite?
You know what? I tried Marmite. My best friend from childhood, she grew up in the UK, and the first time that I slept over at her house, she was like, "Oh, we're having Marmite on toast with breakfast." And I was like, "Okay, sure. Like, I'm not a picky person, you know. I'll try it all first, you know." And I was not into it. But now that I'm an adult who's like, I'm about to be 30, you know, I've tried a lot of things, and I'm into it. I'm into Marmite. It's very salty.
Did you have beans on toast?
I've had beans on toast. I'm into beans on toast. I love a bean, you know, like I love a good bean, you know. Yes.
Did you ever have to like go and make the dish you were, filming for? Did the
Oh my gosh. No, well, I didn't like have to, but nobody was like, "Now you're gonna go make yakisoba," you're gonna go make pork skewers. But I've definitely been very inspired by some of the meals. The whole time I've been recording Sugar Apple Fairy Tale, I really want to get into sugar sculpture. I'm a baker in real life, so I have been baking a lot of cakes since we started that up again. So yeah. That's a good question though. Yeah. What about what are some of your favorite foods that you've seen in animation or in entertainment in general? We gotta acknowledge the chocolate cake in Matilda.
Oh yeah.
That's the best. I mean, it's doesn't get much better than that. Yeah. Well, I
There's
mean,
lots to think about.
what?
There's lots to think about.
Yeah, exactly. I also have to mention takoyaki in My Hero Academia. I skipped over that one. That was incredible. I love takoyaki, and I love that was such a part of that episode where he grows his tentacles. Where Fat Gum he sees the takoyaki and he's like that one, and that's how he saves the day. That's awesome.
I happen to be quite fond of red bean paste, dorayaki, mochi.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm like, it's like a combination of flavor and texture I like, and I'm like, ooh, has that? I have to have that.
Yeah.
Thoughts on natto?
What is that again?
That's the fermented soybeans.
Oh, okay, yes. I think I've tried it. I think I went to Seattle and tried some while I was there, and I think I liked it. I mean, there are very few things that I've tried that I've been like, this is not for me. Oh, okay, thank you. When I was in Seattle, I don't know if y'all have been to Seattle, but it has amazing food. I tried water beetle while I was there, and that was. Has anybody ever tried water beetle or beetle in general? I wouldn't say I recommend it. Unless you absolutely have to. You're on an island and you absolutely have to eat something. But weirdly enough, it tastes exactly like green apple Jolly Ranchers. Not like green apples, but it tastes like green apple Jolly Ranchers specifically.
Interesting.
Yeah, so remember that whenever James Larrabee is handing out his cards with Jolly Ranchers attached to them, just skip by the green apple flavor. Yeah, I had a martini that was infused with it, and some steamed ones, and it was it was an experience. It wasn't terrible, but it was what's in our green apple Jolly Ranchers? What are we flavoring this with? So yeah. I guess I could also talk about you kind of heard this, but my anime origin story, if that works. Like I said, I've been an actor since I was 4. I grew up watching Cartoon Network and PBS, and pretty much like everything that I did as a kid. Like I played with a lot of Barbies as a kid. I just always had Barbies because my sister and everything only girls, and so like our family was like, okay, we'll give you Barbies. And whenever my friends would come over, I was always voicing Ken. And it's like, why can't I ever voice like one of the pretty Barbies or something? And they were like, it's because you always like do the voice better, you know? And so it's, you know, like I think there's a difference between like wanting to be a voice actor and realizing that you could be, that's like an actual real thing that you can do instead of just like making voices all the time. And yeah, so I got into theater, and from there, when I was in college, I had a mentor who is also a voice actor. He plays Captain McMillan in Call of Duty. And at one point he approached me and was like, hey Celeste, have you ever considered voice acting? And it kind of just opened up a world for me. And when I moved back, I was doing a lot of Shakespeare, a lot of theater, and I ended up doing this like holiday sing-along with just a bunch of people that I knew were like working actors but didn't know them specifically. And in the room there was Mike McFarland and Caitlin Glass and Rena Palencia and Anastasia Munoz and Austin Tyndall and like all these people, and I was just like, who are these people? Not knowing that I'd been listening to Mike McFarland, you know, voice Master Roshi for, you know, most of my childhood. And so yeah, and through there I just started working and was playing a lot of character actors, a lot of like very strong and crazy characters in Shakespeare plays. I always get cast as like the clown character. And from there, I got an audition for Horimiya, and I was like, I'm not gonna get this. And I recorded it on my phone in my closet and just did like one pass and just had fun with it. And I was like, well, that happened. That's not gonna happen. Because it was also in the middle of a pandemic. And I got it. And that was kind of crazy. And it's been like a long time of just like figuring things out and not knowing if I'm doing it right the whole time. That's life, baby. And yeah, and from there played Sei Takanashi in Saint's Magic Power, and it's been really fun. So yeah. Does anybody have any questions? Yes.
Do you have a favorite dessert?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, I had this dessert a few years ago that was like, it was when everyone was doing things in mason jars. Like we as a culture just decided that things were more delicious if we put them in jars, which is not entirely wrong. Especially in this case. It was a mason jar that had flan at the bottom. I'm Mexican American and I love flan. I would just die for flan. I want to be buried in flan, and I want that on the record. And so it had flan at the bottom, and then there was a bread pudding, an apple bread pudding that was cooked in a waffle maker. So it was pressed, and it was like tilted, and then it had a brown butter ice cream on top. And when I was eating that, I just like, I was with friends, and I just like felt kind of like when Reen is like trying something and like you see the space cow come up. That's kind of I was like transported to like a space, you know, like cow cosmic, you know, experience of just like, thank you cow for like giving me dairy products. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably the best dessert I've ever had. It was so good. Yes.
Would you ever, there was an episode of Dragon Ball. What's the movie? It's either a movie or the episode where Krillin did a game of wasabi and takoyaki roulette.
I would totally do that because I love wasabi. It's like when I'm eating sushi, it's like either I'm always terrified of just like, I mean, I'm always gonna put it on. Of course I'm gonna put wasabi on my sushi. But it's like, oh, I'm scared. I hope this isn't too much. And then if it's not too much, I'm so disappointed. And then when it is too much, I'm like, I think I'm gonna die right now. Am I about to pass out and die? And you get through that moment and you just cry in a sushi restaurant and you're just like, that was so good. I want to do that over again. So yes, I would totally do that. I love wasabi. I don't think that like Sean. Does anybody watch Hot Ones?
Yes.
Hot Ones is great. I love spicy food. I don't think that like Sean Evans plans on inviting anime actors onto his show, but that's like the dream is to eat hot sauce, eat spicy food, and do interviews. I thought about like doing like a Q&A while I eat really spicy food, but you know, an hour is a really long time. So, and when you're, like I'm about to be 30, it's like, oh, I don't think I should do that. No,
Do it anyway.
No, my body
Well,
actually
this
cares.
is the time to do it
Yes.
because if you do it after that, then it's really gonna hurt.
Exactly,
Do
yeah,
it now.
yeah. Has anybody done the one chip challenge in here?
I have-
Oh my gosh, don't do it. Okay, I did it, and it's the worst thing I've ever done. I almost left my partner of 7 years because he made me do it. Well, he didn't make me do it, he just suggested it. And I, for about 10 minutes, I was like, am I about to burn these 7 years down? And I almost did it just because it was so painful. Anyways, it's a chip, one chip, and they sell it at the grocery store. They actually sell this. I think it's FDA approved. I don't know. And the challenge is to eat the chip. It's a spicy chip. I think it's on the scale, whatever that scale is called.
Scoville.
The Scoville, thank you. On the Scoville scale, it's like 1.6 million Scoville. It's awful. It feels like death.
I had my cousin picked one up for me because I couldn't find them anywhere here, and it's currently sitting at home taunting me,
It's just
saying,
getting right
"Do
in
it!
the face.
Have a pint of ice cream in hand."
Yeah.
Why did you not bring it up for con?
I forgot.
I should really do that'll be the last time I ever do a con. It'll be because I did a one chip challenge in a panel. There's just me just screaming expletives, for a full hour. 'Cause
Or
it's,
get one chip and break it up, and everybody has to take a glove to eat
yeah,
it.
exactly. Well, it's whenever I took it, I didn't touch I was smarter than my partner because I didn't touch the chip. I unpeeled it and just kept it and just made sure that my fingers weren't touching it. And he was like, "Well, just take this out," And just it was awful for us both. And I drank ice cream. I drank melted ice cream to help me get through it. And I felt also we did this at 9 p.m. on a Sunday, and I'm a freelancer, so I don't have I don't go to work every day, but as fate would have it, I did have a shoot the next day at 7 a.m. where I was actually running a teleprompter for another person, which is very you have to be so focused to run teleprompter. This was years ago, and it was awful, and I felt like I had eaten berries in the forest and barely survived. If y'all have seen Beef with Ali Wong and Stephen Yeun, it's kind of like that when they eat, the berries in the forest. It was an experience. Yeah, would not recommend it. Yeah, but I kind of feel like I could conquer anything now. Now that I've done it, I feel like I'm less afraid of death because I've lived it. It was that was a good question. Whatever the question was, it was a good one. Yeah. Any more questions about food or spicy things? Yeah.
Are you familiar with the channel Binging with Rabbit?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. People have turned me on to this because I love talking about just food in general, but especially obviously animated food, but also just food from movies and TV. And so yes, I love Binging with Babish. So good. Yeah. Did he make the cake from Matilda? I think he might have.
That doesn't surprise me. I don't think I've seen that in anyone, but that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, in a weird way, one of my favorite food scenes, I know this isn't real food, but it's in Hook, when they're doing the food fight. I don't know why, but it's I want to eat the color,
Superman ice.
yeah, the paint, yeah, everything
It always
like
looked
that.
like Play-Doh to me.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
it probably
delicious.
was.
And I was a child who ate Play-Doh, probably, I definitely ate Play-Doh as a child. I definitely ate Play-Doh as a child, I just want to make sure all my embarrassing moments have been put on camera. itemized forever. Any other questions? Yeah.
While we're on YouTube videos, have you seen the series Try Not to Eat?
No.
From
Where
that
they've replicated dishes from animes and movies. And the challenge is they go through 5 rounds of different dishes.
Oh my gosh.
If you eat, you have to take a bite of punishment food. If you don't eat anything, you get a special prize dish.
What is the punishment food?
It depends on what theme, because they theme it to each movie or series.
Gotcha.
So it's
Gotcha.
been different each time.
I think I would fail that immediately. I would absolutely fail that. Like, what prize could be better? You know? Would it be like $5 million? I would probably like not touch. I don't know. What's my favorite on here? I would probably like not touch omurice for the $5 million, but no less. Yeah, I think that's my number. What was that?
Huh?
What?
No, two.
Oh.
See where we're going?
Oh.
nothing.
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a good example.
Well, cool. We're like
I
halfway
know at
through.
one point they did do a food wars episode.
Yeah, I did a food
Forget
wars
all the
episode.
different dishes.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure the one at the end was like, Yukimura's failed, peanut butter chip, like.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Ooh. I've got to check that out. What was it called?
People versus food.
People versus food.
We'll
Try
get
not
into it.
Oh, okay. Try not to eat it. Awesome. I'll have to check that out. I also really like the show. Is it chocolate or can you? Is it? It's called like Can You Eat It or Is It Chocolate?
Is it cake?
No. I know that's a show, but there's like this game show that it's not an American game show.
Oh.
I can't remember where it's from, but it's like a game show where it's like the whole point is to figure out what in the room is made from chocolate, and like you have to like try it. And so at one point it's like this guy's shoe that he's wearing is like actually made from chocolate, or the table is made from chocolate. It's pretty. Yeah, I don't know why. Like I'm so into that, but then when it comes to like the cake that looks like real stuff, I am so not interested. Like it's like no, I want my cake to look like it was being served to Marie Antoinette. Like I want my cake to be fancy, and I don't want it to look like toilet paper. I would not eat that, even if it was delicious. Yeah. Does anybody else have any questions? Nope. I mean, let's see. We're like halfway through. Fish pie and Kiki's delivery service. Would y'all? Oh, yeah, I love the fish pie. I love a savory pie.
Stargazy pie.
Ooh, yeah.
Yep. I've made a curry pie before.
Oh yeah? What was in it?
Chicken Japanese curry was baked into the pie. I got second place in a pie contest.
Oh, cool. That sounds delicious. My sister is every Mexican family has a designated tamale maker, and my sister is the designated tamale maker because none of us want to do it. And so like even like on Christmas she'll like be like, okay, you have to help, and I'm like, oh, okay. But she lives up north and is like able to sell like a dozen tamales for like way too much. But she also has a lot of friends that like have never tried them before, but are also like vegan. And so she makes like red curry pumpkin tamales, and it is so good. That is, curry tamales are the crossover that we deserve. That's what we're
I would
looking
try.
Sounds amazing.
I would try that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For Thanksgiving, she does turkey tamales with like a jalapeno cranberry what's it called? Cranberry sauce. But it's like jalapeno cranberry sauce, and it's so good.
That sounds good. That sounds like something they'd have at the state fair here.
Yeah, exactly. But if it was like a sweet, no. If it was like a chocolate tamale, I'm not interested.
That sounds weird.
No, that sounds too weird. There's a line.
The tamale donut was pretty good though, from the state fair.
Oh yeah, I tried that. That was really good. I'm from Dallas. Yeah. So I love the state fair every year. I actually have a friend who her family owns one of the fried food like contestants. I can't remember what they submitted this year, but I think last year they did did they do the fried gumbo last year?
I think so.
I think
Yeah.
I think that they
That sounds
submitted fried gumbo, and it was pretty successful.
I've had a barbecue Sunday at a fair up in New England.
Ooh, okay.
Had like
New England barbecue. I don't know about that.
well, I think they must have had somebody from the South who made the
Gotcha.
barbecue on top because it was
Good.
it was like cornbread and like some baked beans and mashed potatoes and like coleslaw and then like
I told y'all, don't come to this panel hungry because I am starving right now.
and then what did they have? They had coleslaw, then they had the barbecue on top of the
Oh,
sauce
yeah.
and a
Keep
cherry
talking.
tomato, a slice of cherry tomato on top. It looked like a sundae.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
It was very good.
Yeah, I would definitely try that. I'm really looking forward to some of what they've got this year. I'm here for it. Yeah. I think that if I were to do and submit anything as like a fried food, I'd probably do like a rendition of a corn dog that's like well, you know what? I think they might have done this before, but it wasn't very good. They did Thanksgiving dinner, like fried Thanksgiving dinner.
Yep.
I love Thanksgiving as a meal, not as a event. But it was I would do like a turkey dog with instead of cornbread, I would do like a cornbread dressing around it and fry that, and then dip it in some cranberry sauce and gravy. Don't steal that. Don't steal it. That's my money make. That's how I'm gonna make it big.
I learned how to make turkey pie from my grandma.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The best leftovers after Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I love a Thanksgiving sandwich. You know. Yeah, it's delicious. Love a meatloaf sandwich. Oh, I have a fun fact for y'all. When do you think that meatloaf was invented? Do you think it's raise your hand if you think it was invented like in the Great Depression? You know, nobody thinks it was. Okay, cool. You'll saw right through that. Or like in the Renaissance, maybe. No,
Possibly a lot older.
Possibly. You know what? I will blow your minds real quick. In the very first cookbook that we have, like the earliest cookbook that we have a record of from first AD in ancient Rome, we have a recipe for meatloaf.
I believe it.
I believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so serious. Yeah. I'm telling y'all, I'm such a food nerd. I love finding out about food and trying food. Does anybody else have any questions about voice acting, laid back camp, food, gaming?
Would you go winter camping?
Oh, absolutely. I've been like, I'm kind of I don't know, it depends on where. Would I go camping around Mount Fuji? Absolutely. But would I go camping in Minnesota in the winter? No. I've been to Minnesota in the February. It's in the February. In Minnesota, actually, like in Minnesota, whenever it's February, we actually just refer to it as the February. My sister went to school in Minnesota, so I was like obsessed with like learning everybody's dialect. But yeah, I would totally go winter camping. Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that sounds perfect for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you just get to eat a lot of delicious food and make hot chocolate or like tea while you're.
I'd go winter camping in Texas.
Oh yeah, winter camping in Texas, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even. Yeah, you can sleep outside. You'll be fine.
I grew up in Colorado and did some winter camping in Colorado, and that is like, you need to be prepared.
Yeah, you've got to have like a serious tent and sleeping bag and like those little packets. Yeah.
I'm originally from North Dakota and
Oh gosh.
lived for 10 years,
North-
and I'm like, I don't want to camp in North Dakota in the winter.
Oh no, I don't want to go anywhere near North Dakota in the winter. I mean, like, no. From around like Fargo,
No, other side of the
other
state.
side. Okay, it's a beautiful state. What did you have a question?
I did, actually. So you said that after the AD times, like meatloaf, the recipe for meatloaf was like existent.
Yeah.
So like during the Great Depression and Renaissance,
Yeah.
these were very scarce.
What was the last part of that?
They were very scarce.
Oh yeah.
So Go for it.
Well, actually, okay, so my
Like a nut.
I don't know about the Renaissance. That was kind of just like to throw you off. But when it comes to the depression, I do know because my grandma is very old. My grandma's 102. She's turning 103 next month. She's like, whenever I say like, oh, my grandma's really old, people are like, oh yeah, mine's 85. Yeah, she's really old. And I'm like, no, mine's like, she's really old. She's like, it's scary. Yeah, so my grandma, like, she used to make meatloaf with cereal because she would get cereal rations. And so, like, if you look at recipes, I mean, depending on, like, if your family's still making meatloaf the olden way, you know, they could put, like, oats in it or something, or, like, cornflakes, like, just very plain cornflakes. Yeah.
A relative of mine accidentally made meatloaf, meatless loaf.
Oh,
They
no!
started eating it. It's like,
How do they do that? What?
lots of filling.
Yeah. I know.
Basically, they didn't have a lot of money for the meat, so they used a lot of filling to stretch it.
So they kind of made like a bread kind of.
Pretty much
with-
it's just all the bread, the crumbs, and the flavorings, and see whatever else they put in, and looked over, and there was the meat still sitting on the counter.
Totally. That's genius.
Not rich at all. It was like
Maybe don't show Gordon Ramsay, but you know, like I would try it. Yeah, put a little
the
marmite on
meatless
it.
loaf.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you been to a Renaissance festival? And if so, what is your favorite Renaissance festival food?
You know what? I have been trying to go back. I went when I was a kid, but I haven't been as an adult. And I had the time of my life as a kid. It was the first place that I ever tried fried ice cream, and that was like before like Chili's was serving fried ice cream. And I had like the most delicious turkey leg. But I would say like, I don't know. I mean, I have to see like what they're serving these days. But I'm down to try whatever's there. What about you?
I heavily recommend the Scotch egg.
Oh yes, I love a Scotch egg.
Yes.
Yes, there's a restaurant over here called The Playwright, and they have a Scotch egg, and it is so good. Yes, I'm very into a Scotch egg. Yes, I'm here for it. Any more questions or favorite food items that you've tried at Renaissance fairs?
In the idea of camping and cooking, have you ever made a mountain pie with a sandwich pie iron?
No, but I have to. Wait, it's a mountain pie?
They call them mountain pies or whatnot. It's basically you make sandwiches in a specialized pie iron that you stick straight in the fire. And you can put anything on them. You can make them a sweet sandwich, like, you know, peanut butter jelly on bread and then smash it in the pie iron and fry it up. Or you can make like pizza style and
Oh,
and
yeah.
it crimps it. It crimps the bread crusts at the end because, you know, it's smashed in a pie iron.
Yeah. Oh, I'm super into that. That sounds great. Yeah, I'll have to try that.
I know they have the pie irons in the camping section at most stores.
Yeah. Ooh. Whenever I've been camping a lot, which is like really great. I'm glad that I didn't do this show and I'd never been camping because I would be really sad. But one of my favorite things to eat while I was camping as a kid, I used to go with my school a lot, and there was this guy that would take us. He was like, this is what he did: is he would take schools on camping trips and teach kids how to like kayak and canoe and hike and without breaking a leg or. But he would also make an amazing blackberry peach cobbler in a big cast iron Dutch oven over the fire, and it would take like all day, and it was so good. It was just like, I think about that once a week. Yeah, that's definitely the best thing I've ever had while camping. Yeah.
So, you know in Food Wars where if you try something, your clothes explode on
Yeah.
It goes from PG to rated R in like 30 seconds flat. But is there anything in your life that you have ever made that you're like giving your family members that feeling of like,
I hope not. That's really funny. I don't know about my family members, but I've definitely made. I have a cake that I really like to make for like special occasions, and it's a guava cake with passion fruit curd and a coconut buttercream. Yeah, it's really, really good. And if you don't like guava, you can also make like a delicious lime cake. And it's really easy. You just like add a little bit of, you just make a yellow cake, but then you zest a lime into the batter and squeeze a little bit of lime juice. And so that way it's like through the lime zest, it just retains this delicious like lime, like fresh flavor throughout the cake, and it's so delicious. Yeah, yeah. That's probably the closest I've ever had to like the Food Wars reaction, which is hilarious. It's not, I mean, it's like one of those shows where it's like, I'm not going to tell my mom about this show, but like, I'm also not going to hate on it because it's hilarious, you know, that this effect is happening to these characters after just like eating curry, you know, like, it's like, yeah, same, like fried rice would do the same to me, you know, if it was that good. So yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. I never want to think about my family having that reaction. Thank you. No, it's okay. Does anybody else have any questions? We're like, I mean, we're like getting there, you know? We're just chilling. We're just talking. No. What's the best thing that y'all have had recently to eat? Anything?
Ramen.
Ramen?
Ramen.
Oh yeah, yeah. Ramen. Where do you go?
It's this place in Carrollton. It has like 99 Ranch, which is like, I think it's Korean. It's a Korean market, and then there's H Mart, which is Japanese.
Oh yeah. No, I know where it is.
It's Carrollton.
Oh, okay. I don't think, is it near the bookstore?
Yes.
Okay, I don't think I've been into that one, but I've been it's on the list.
It's on the other side, but they have this. I'm not sure if you're into seafood.
Oh,
but
definitely.
They have this super good. It's called Nagasaki seafood ramen. It's so good.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a place that does pretty good. It's pretty decent. I've had better. Actually, it's not so good. No, it is. No, there's this place that does seafood ramen on Greenville Avenue that's pretty good. But Wabi House is pretty much like my favorite in terms of like middle of Dallas. But I know Carrollton's way good. They're gonna have a lot better ramen than inner city Dallas.
Also, Jollibee's fried chicken.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
definitely. I'm down. I'm very down. Yeah. Where's that place? There's a place on Beltline. Ramen Hakata has really good. Yeah. They have really good katsudon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was going there a lot during laid back camp. I was just like on my way home. I was like, I'm just gonna pop in. Yeah, they have really good takoyaki as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I used to get their unigori.
Oh yeah.
And they had a spicy kind for like maybe like 2 years, and I would get that all the time. And then they only started in Frisco, and I was like, really?
Dang. Yeah, for a while I was just like always getting their kimchi ramen because it was so spicy and delicious, and like especially on rainy days,
Oh,
it
yeah.
was like that's where I'm going. I'm gonna go there, and I'm just gonna think about life. Eat my kimchi ramen.
Why am I eating ramen?
Delicious. Yeah. That's cool. Has anybody been to Uchi? I think that's the best meal I've ever had in my entire life. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah. Where are we going to eat after this?
We made 2 loaves of bread and a big old pot of curry
Ooh.
for planning for the weekend.
What kind of bread?
We made a cheese and onion bread, and then we made just a simple white bread. My mom gave me the years and years and decades old bread machine that we've had, and she was like, "Here, have at it. Go have fun." I was like,
Awesome.
"Oh, I guess we'll use this."
Yeah, I bet that, yeah. I mean, like, I got really into making focaccia during the pandemic because, like, all of the stores were out of bread, and I was like, I need something.
I usually like to make it and enter into fairs with really fun bread recipes.
Yeah, totally. That sounds delicious. Yeah. Last night, I went to the restaurant downstairs, and I got a hazelnut mousse that had like a caramel chocolate glaze and like a raspberry kind of jelly around the outside. It was very fancy, very bougie. But it was so delicious, and I just like I love hanging out with all my fellow actors that are here. But I was like, I'm just gonna go to the bar and be alone and eat a dessert and drink a glass of wine and just like zen out a little bit. It's highly recommend. It's really good. It's that place downstairs. Cool. Well, we're at 4:46. Does anybody have any more questions or want to talk about any other food items? If not, maybe we could be good to go. Yeah? Well, it was really nice meeting you all. Thank you all for coming to, just chat about food and, have a little laid back discussion about our favorite camping anime. I'm at my booth till tomorrow. I've got a really sick laid back camp poster and some Reen stickers. And if you came to this panel and you come by my booth, I'll give you a Reen sticker. Yeah, I should have brought them. Maybe I did. I did not. I forgot. But if you come by my booth, you can have a Reen sticker. It's really cute. It looks like she's like sitting on whatever you put her on. So if you put her on like a little, I don't know, a book or something, it's like she's just like proud type thing. Yeah. Thanks for coming to my